welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm here to film my birth story. I have been trying to do this video for so long now. So I gave birth to my son a little while ago, almost 2 weeks ago now. You can kind of see him in the background. He's in his bouncer asleep at the moment. So I'm just going to share you my birth story. I'm going to tell you what happened leading up to it and so forth. I apologise if the background's a bit messy. I am trying to record this video so that I can actually get it up, so I do apologise for the messy background. So I went to a midwife appointment on a Monday, and they basically tested my urine and did my blood pressure and everything like that. And I went there that day because I was basically booked to have a sweep done, and I was 40 weeks in a day, so obviously I was a day overdue. And they did my blood pressure and tested my urine, and they basically said to me that I had protein in my urine and my blood pressure was high. So they wanted me to go to the hospital to basically be checked over. So obviously I went there, and the doctors decided to admit me onto the ward. But before they admitted me on the ward, they said, oh, you can have a sweep done now, and then we'll admit you onto the ward and then see how it goes. They said that if your blood pressure stays okay, then obviously we're just going to induce you. So they said that you're likely going to stay in the hospital now and you'll be induced and have the baby and everything. They said that, and just make sure you've got everything for you and what baby needs and everything. So my husband raced home and he got my bag and the baby's hospital bag, and he brought all that up to me. When I actually got onto the ward, one of the midwives basically said to me, oh, if your blood pressure's fine, you're likely going to go home tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, because I was told that I'd be kept in for induction, but whatever. So they monitored my blood pressure all through the night, and they basically said that I was fine. To me, that they'd give me a sweep before I went home, and did book me in for an induction when I was 41 weeks. Which would have been the same week but on the Sunday. So that day was Tuesday, the day that I was discharged from hospital, and they said that I would be basically induced on a Sunday. So they gave me another sweep and then they let me go home. So yeah, so they gave me a sweep and then they said to me, you can go home. I believe this sweep will help move things along basically. So I was given 2 sweeps, one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, and then I was discharged home and booked in to be induced on the Sunday. So I was very excited because it's like, oh, I'm gonna meet my baby finally, and you know, I was just making sure that I had everything prepared for the basically Sunday. When it come to the Friday, I woke up in pain. I just thought it was Braxton Hicks, but then I noticed there was a pattern to the pain, so the pains was coming like every 10 minutes. And I was just thinking, oh, it's nothing. My husband said, you're in labour, and I was like, no, I'm not. You know, being stubborn, basically saying that, you know, this can't be labour yet. I was set, my mum was set that I was going to be induced on a Sunday, so I was thinking, oh, I won't have the baby until the Sunday. I'll be induced, and then, you know, I'll have the baby like after that. Anyway, I went to bed on the Friday night, and I kept waking up with a pain in my stomach. And it come to about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I decided to time these pains, and they was coming every 10 minutes, and then suddenly, like dramatically, they started coming every 2 to 3 minutes. Like, my husband up at that point, and I was like, I think I'm in labour, like I'm in agony. I said, I think I'm having contractions. And he basically said to me, right, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. And he said, let me call the triage and see what they say. So he called them, and he basically gave them my like RxK number. And they basically said, how is she coping? Is she coping? And my husband said, no, she's not coping. And I said, okay, bring her in. So we got our suitcase and everything, and my husband put it into the taxi, and I was literally getting contractions on the way there in the back of the taxi, and I was just like holding my breath, and I was saying, you know, I'm not gonna die, I'm just gonna have a baby, and trying to, like, you know, reassure myself and calm myself down, in that way. So I got into the hospital. I think we got there 7:15 in the morning. And a woman said to me, we're going to put you on a heart monitor a bit, listen to baby, monitor your contractions and basically see what's happening. So they took me off the monitor, baby was happy. And the woman said, okay, I'm going to do a check to see how many centimetres you are. And she checked me and she said, you're 4 centimetres, you are not going home today. So that's good news. 4 centimetres, yay. And I was like, okay. And I was really happy because I was like, oh, finally I'm going to have my baby, you know. And they said to me, we're just waiting for your bed. Your midwife will be coming to get you in your bed's ready, basically. Around 8ish, the midwife come and she took me to the room where I was going to have my baby. And she asked me if I needed any pain relief or anything like that. And I said no. Every contraction that I had, I just tried to be brave, and I just braved it, basically. And the pains were manageable. The hurt, but they was manageable for the time. And then she checked me after a couple of hours, and she said, you're about 4 to 5 centimetres. And I was like, okay, well, not much has changed, and I've probably like dilated a centimetre in a couple of hours. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be a long process, and the baby is not going to come for a long time yet. Obviously the doctors come round. I met all the doctors. They was all nice. And then you know, they're just saying that if I needed anything, they would be there, basically. And then obviously my contractions are still coming and it's getting stronger, but I still was refusing any pain relief. And then the midwife said to me, she said, right, I'm going to check you again. If you're less than 8 centimetres, then we will break your waters. And I said, okay, that's fine. So she checked me again, and I was about 5 to 6 centimetres. So she said to me, okay, I'm going to break your waters now. And I said, okay. Contractions got so intense, and I was just trying to I was still just trying to brave the pain. You know, trying to be like as tough as I could because of me having epilepsy. I really didn't want to risk giving my baby like these drugs that I felt like he didn't need. And I was thinking, if I could do labour naturally, then you know it's going to be less risk on him, and that he would be okay. So I was refusing any pain relief. But then my contractions got so intense that I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I asked for the gas and air, and I tried the gas and air, and it did not work at all. It didn't help with my pains. It literally, the only thing it did was make my lips like numb to the touch, and I just felt really like dizzy and drowsy, and I didn't like the feeling of it. No, I can't bear this. I can't bear this. Like this, I'm not going to take this gas and air. It's not working. What's the point in putting this drug in my body if it's doing literally nothing? Obviously the pains got worse and worse, and they basically said to me, right, do you want an epidural? And I said, yes, get me a epidural. At this point I was literally screaming the hospital down. I mean, I probably wasn't screaming the hospital down, I was screaming the room down. I was throwing my pillows all over the place. I was gripping onto the bed, I was gripping onto the rail, squeezing my husband's hand. The pains was just really, really intense. Midwife went out of the room and she said, okay, I'm going to go tell the doctor that you want an epidural. So they went and told the doctor, and the doctor didn't come for a whole hour. So I was actually left for a whole hour screaming and getting really strong contractions. And when she came into the room, she said to me, we're going to put you in a hormone drip because your contractions are coming, but they're not strong enough to make you dilate fast enough. And I was like, okay. So she faffled around for about 25 minutes, put me on a bloody hormone drip. And you need to sit up now, you need to do your epidural, blah, blah, blah. So she's trying to get me into this sitting up position when I was getting such strong contractions. And there's this student midwife there, and she's pushing the heart monitor onto my stomach when I was getting strong contractions. And I was trying my best not to have a go at this woman. I didn't want to have a go at her. I didn't want to make her feel like, you know, she was like doing anything bad, because I know that she was learning and everything. But the midwife told her, you know, you don't need to worry about the heart trace at the moment because she's going to get the epidural. So, you know, you'll worry about the heart trace after she's had the epidural. But the midwife didn't listen. She just, student midwife didn't listen. She just kept pushing this thing into my into my stomach, which was obviously making my contractions like so much more intense. So then when it come to the midwife actually going to do the epidural, I was getting really, really strong contractions, and I could feel the baby's head like coming down. I was saying to them, I can't sit still, I can't sit still, I can't stay in like one sitting position. Like when you're getting like really strong contractions and you're being told to sit still and you're being told to sit in one place, and the student midwife again, she was there with the gas nurse shoving it in my mouth. Like I didn't want to take it, but she was shoving it in my mouth, and I was like, you know, grabbing it off her, and like you don't just shove the gas nail in somebody's mouth. Like they're having contractions. Like what are you doing? Shove the gas nail in my mouth. And then the anaesthetist who was trying to do the epidural, she wasn't doing it. Like she was just taking so long. And at this point I was literally sitting on the bed and I was pushing. I said to the midwife, I need to push. I said, I'm soaking the bed, I need to push. And the anaesthetist was saying, stop moving. I was like, I can't. And my body was just like naturally pushing. The midwife said, you need to hurry up. We're about to have a baby. So the anaesthetist literally finished doing the epidural, putting the needle in my back. And then I was laid back onto my back, and I looked and the baby's head was halfway out, and they told me to just go with it and push. So I pushed, and then they said a few slow pushes now, little slow pushes, and my son come out and he was born. I did not feel the effects of the epidural one bit. They gave it me too late. I couldn't believe it. They said to me that I went through the whole labour with no pain relief whatsoever, because obviously the gas nail didn't work for me. And then by the time that I did the epidural, that it literally did nothing to me. I wasn't numbed or anything like that. I could feel pain in my stomach everywhere. So yeah, my son was born in 3 minutes, which is crazy, but that's what happened. He weighed £9.9, and I suffered 2nd-degree tears. So obviously I had to be stitched up in 2 different places. But yeah, it was an amazing experience, and honestly, if anyone is like pregnant or anything, honestly, you're gonna love like the whole giving birth thing, because it's like the best. It's literally the best feeling in the world. Being able to bring a little person into the world that you've created, being able to hold them for the first time, hearing them scream for the first time, that is a memory that you'll never forget. But yeah, that's basically my birth story. So he's almost 2 weeks old, and it's absolutely crazy how quick that's gone already. He's a little bit congested. He's been congested since birth, but it's gotten a little bit worse now. So I've got to try and get some nasal spray and see if that'll help him. But here he is, and he's perfect. So yeah, that is our birth story. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll hopefully see you guys again for another video. Thanks, bye.